This is just a nice, simple, about 5-minute mobility routine. It's gonna hit the big blocks and get your body ready for the day. So I suggest you do it first thing in the morning, but you can also do it at other times. So we're gonna start off half kneel position, tuck the hips, get a nice squeeze. You can either tuck the toes or have them flat on the floor, your preference, and use a pad if you need to under the knee. So we're gonna start off with shoulder cars. So it's a nice big circle, nice and slow. Once you get as high as you can, rotate, reach back, continue rotating, rotate. Palms facing this way now. We're gonna go backwards, so now reach back, stay tall, and rotate once you run out of room there. All right, so you're staying nice and tall here, trying not to let any other part of your body move except your shoulder. So we're gonna go one more here, reach up. Once you run out of room there, start rotating, try and rotate from the biceps and turn here. Rotate there, not just at the forearm and the wrist. And then we're going back again. Reach back as far as you can. Rotate, reach up and around. Boom, beautiful. All right, now I'll show you from this angle on the other side. Tuck, squeeze, we're nice and tall. Up tall, rotate when you start running out of room, and just be sure you're not pushing into pain. Very mild discomfort is okay. It might be a range your body's not used to, but don't push through any pain. And remember, we don't want to create an enormous amount of tension right now because this is just an easy warm-up here. This is something that we want low barrier to do. We want you to be willing and able to do it anytime. And boom. All right, so now we're going into a nice little butterfly stretch. So here, boom, hands here. You might be able to get a lot further down than me. Hold it for a moment, take a couple breaths. I like to go back against something, particularly just to keep it nice and easy. It's a little lower effort for you. And now we're gonna do some neck cars from here. So think about drawing as big a circle as you can with your chin. So you're going down, rotate that chin towards your collarbone, tip the ear towards your shoulder, look back and up, and then rotate, bring that chin back over to the other collarbone, and down and up. All right, now down, rotate, look back, tip. I like to think about my neck going back and up towards the sky or the ceiling. And we're going one more each way. Rotate back. Again, may I remind you not to push through pain. And if you haven't done these before, start out doing them seated in a nice stable position because every now and then it gets people a little bit dizzy. All right, so now, seated here, or you can be up on the couch or a chair. We're gonna do some hip work. So get nice and tall. You're going to keep your two butt bones glued to the floor, and we're gonna rotate the hip in and out. So I just want you moving from here. That hip is moving, everything else is staying nice and still. And think about using the muscles here, using the tissues here to initiate that rotation. Okay, I don't want you thinking about pulling your knee down. I just want you to think about rotating your hip and getting movement in that joint. Boom, boom, and now we're gonna go other hip. So this is a nice opportunity as you're doing some of these cars to kind of assess your joints and see which ones move, which don't, where you have asymmetries. For example, my left hip here doesn't internally rotate as much as my right one. So that's something I probably want to address. All right, another thing you can do is relax the other leg as you're doing it. So that's up to you. Okay, now we're getting into the knees. So you can use same position. Again, you can also be seated. Thighs stay still. We're gonna rotate the shins. All right, flex the toes up, create some tension through here. And you wanna think about the ankle and the shin are locked together. They're fused together right now, and they're just all rotating as one unit while the thighs stay still. All right, you may or may not get this much rotation. Just focus on getting as much as you can and don't push through pain. For a lot of people, this is not painful, it's just a little weird, and it's awesome because you can do it everywhere. You can do it seated, you can do it driving with your left foot, assuming you have a manual transmission. Be careful. All right, now we're getting into some ankle cars. So I'm gonna have you lay down,
pull your knee up towards your chest, and we're going to draw as big a circle as you can with your toes. So for this one, we now want to keep the shin really still. So my hands right now, not only are they holding my knee up into a stretch, they are also keeping my shin from moving. Or really, they're keeping my focus on the shin so I can tell if it's moving. All right, now I'm going to go other direction here. Point, rotate, pull the toes up towards the shin, rotate. Just like that. Woo, something's clicking. You might feel a little clicking going on. That's okay as long as you don't have pain. And you may find over time, if you don't normally do this stuff, some of that clicking could decrease. I can't promise that, but you just might get a little bit less noisy. Which, I mean, maybe that's a bad thing. I mean, it could be that you have family members or significant others that count on that kind of warning that you're coming. I think mine do, actually. So anyway, I like to get about 3 or 4 here. Boom, shin's not moving, pull up into a nice stretch. All right, and final thing here. We're going to use some spine stuff. So, kneeling. We're going to be toes tucked like this to get a nice stretch on the feet, or you can get a stretch on the top of the feet and the shins by kneeling like this, or you can come upright, or you can sit. So, I'm just going to go like this for now. We're going to round the spine, flex the spine, rotate the shoulders, tip the shoulder towards the hip, extend back, rotate and tip towards the other side, back to the start. Now I'm going to go the other way. Round, rotate the shoulders, tip, extend back, tip, and rotate. And I'll show you from this side. So here, think about, you're not tipping you're not leaning your weight, I should say. Okay? You're moving from the spine, your hips are staying pretty still. And think about if you're kneeling like this on your knees or your shins, the weight should stay pretty even on both shins. You shouldn't feel like suddenly your weight is shifting more to one side as you're doing this rotation. All right, that is it. Enjoy.